Hey, it's Gabriel, custodian of EscapeTheTechnocracy.com. I'm pleased to announce that we have a new video tutorial course on the website. This is called 3D Printing for Radicals. What if I told you that after thousands of years of human engineering, you could now have in your living room a device that in certain respects would put the Industrial Revolution to shame? What if I told you that the man-made solid objects that make up our world were yours to make now? And that the manufacturing of objects previously confined to industrial machines, enterprise agreements, expensive and unapproachable proprietary design software was now at your fingertips with millions of objects to print for free as a free person with free and open source software leading the way? What if I told you that you could design just about any object you can think of? And that despite a cadre of doomers and privacy nihilists, that this was all possible without any surveillance or internet connectivity whatsoever. Such is the promise of 3D printing, which we explain to you in this course. Over 8 modules and counting, we explain the basics of 3D printing from our engineering and cypherpunk background. We walk you through the selection of a printer and all the details you should consider at different price points. We teach you how to set it up, and then how to use slicing software with our characteristic beginner-friendly but advance-quickly style that our audience loves. We show you dozens of prints and how we would approach them, so that by the end you are a confident printer with any object. We have entire modules on how you can design your own objects using free and open source software. This is not something commonly taught, certainly to the level that we do it. Our team includes people who have been working on 3D design and 3D printing for more than a decade, as well as more inexperienced 3D printers who provide a beginner-level atmosphere to the early modules, as they show you the hurdles you'll encounter if you're a beginner. We have a module on running a 3D printing business, a great way to escape the rat race of the technocracy, and otherwise have thought of most of the freedom-oriented uses that you would have for a 3D printer. All of this is done with a supreme privacy and sovereignty focus that is at the core of who we are. And frankly, we don't see any other way of approaching 3D printing. If you want to purchase 3D printing for radicals, visit EscapeTheTechnocracy.com and sign up. We accept Monero and Bitcoin as well as credit card. You're not going to find this stuff just anywhere online. Indeed, like many of our products, 3D printing for radicals came about as we surveyed the landscape and in a look of frustration said, well, it looks like we'll have to create this knowledge ourselves. For example, the online tutorial space is full of shills for bamboo printers. To use an analogy, bamboo is the Sauron or the NSA of 3D printing. They openly denounced the need for privacy in 3D printers and long ago made the Faustian bargain that safety and always connectedness is more important than sovereignty. A huge selection of the 3D printing influencers have made this Faustian bargain along with them. Online tutorials are full of people who openly state they don't care about privacy or if their printer is communicating back to the mothership. They welcome our impending dystopia. And it is impending. You have states in the US trying to force printers to be online at all times. The state of Washington is pushing through a bill that will have block features to prevent a 3D printer from making certain objects. Other states such as New York have pushed this in the past. The popular 3D maker FlashForge, the people who make these devices, has tweeted out recently that anyone found printing plastic guns with their machines will have their abilities revoked and be reported to the authorities. How long will it be before 3D printers are regulated out of existence or severely crippled? And honestly, from the authoritarian perspective, they should be, because they are the embodiment of the DIY attitude. I don't want to put this too lightly. The ability to fashion very solid objects with layers of artificial material that hold up under stress is astonishingly freedom-oriented. Neil Stephenson imagined in his 1995 sci-fi novel The Diamond Age the ability to compile molecules into new structures, essentially to fashion anything, and 30 years later we're not far away. And of course, it's perfectly characteristic of our time that many sci-fi writers and futurists work on the side of the technocratic powers that be when the rubber meets the road. The list of courageous freedom allies is surprisingly thin today. In many respects, 3D printing for radicals reminds me of our trend-setting AI revolution course, a promising technology that we've been at the cusp of since the beginning. In the wrong hands, it can be quite enslaving and surveying, but in the hands of empowered users who are aware of these limitations and know how to get around them, it can be used as a force for good to maximize productivity and, indeed, privacy strategies. Like artificial intelligence, 3D printing is often overhyped by shysters. By contrast, we are level-headed. We show you the reality of the moment so you can work with what exists, not what could exist. We're not selling you AI stocks. We don't hand wave and throw out meaningless investor statements about how 3D printing will change our world. We're too busy running multiple machines, testing multiple designs, using different softwares, pushing things to the limit, figuring out how to do it all offline. We're getting our hands dirty. We're only selling information. While others work for their sponsors, we don't have any, which means we always work for you. Like AI, 3D printing is encouraged to the detriment of privacy. The landscape of sleepwalking techies have long sold out to big tech and perceived convenience. Most of them don't even warn you about any privacy consequences. By contrast, we show you in 3D Printing for Radicals what the consequences are and how to do all engineering without connecting to the internet once or connecting your printer to any network whatsoever. In fact, so far in the ongoing tutorials, we have not connected to the internet a single time while printing, only to download some software and prints. Without overselling the tech, in the right hands with the right mindset, a rare combination in our brave new world, 3D printing is incredibly powerful. The freedom seeker has long had his computer code, long had his ability to move jurisdictions, long had his blockchain digital money. But he ends up always trudging back to his Walmart and now Amazon for his helping of Chinese plastic, paying the $200 for the custom plastic needed for his truck, the $75 proprietary handle for his proprietary door. He has not had the ability to refashion his physical world, and in a world that is rapidly deglobalizing, there will be many fewer goods available on store shelves in the upcoming 10 years compared to the previous 10. Huge selections of items will simply disappear entirely. The plethora of available items will be much less. Will you be self-sufficient? With 3D printing, you can fix expensive problems for you and your neighbors. You can replace parts to your appliances. You can add shelves to your desk. You can create tools that you don't have out of a spool of plastic sitting next to you. You can even print texts without the tracing inherent to all inkjet and laser printers. This is the practical and expansive freedom mindset that we bring to 3D Printing for Radicals, a course that will be as transformative to you as 3D printing is to freedom tech. We hope to see you there. EscapeTheTechnocracy.com